जय राधा माधवा जय कुंज विहारी
जय राधा माधवा कुंज विहारी
गोपी जन वल्लभा जय गिरिवराधारी
गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी
यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजना
यशोदानंदना व्रज जन रंजना
यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजना
यशोदानंदना व्रज जन रंजना
यमुना तीरवनचारी जय कुंज विहारी
यमुना तीरवनचारी कुंज विहारी
जय राधा माधवा जय कुंज विहारी
जय राधा माधवा कुंज विहारी
गोपी जना वल्लभा जय गिरिवराधारी
गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी
यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजना
यशोदानंदना व्रज जन रंजना
यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजना
यशोदानंदना व्रज जन रंजना
यमुना तीरवनचारी जय कुंज विहारी
यमुना तीरवनचारी कुंज विहारी
हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschati Deshadharini Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gauravakta Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, welcome to all. Today we are going to discuss the last part of the life history of Sri Ramanujacharya. In the last session, last class, we have discussed about how Kulutunga sent his people to bring Ramanuja and Mahaprabhu. Sensing the danger of Ramanuja, Kuresha, foremost disciple of Ramanuja, told Ramanuja, "My dear master, you please do not go to Kanchipuram. I will go in your place. You accept my dress, I will accept your dress." He gave white dress to Ramanuja, took sannyasa dress, saffron dress from Ramanuja and wore, and he and Mahaprabhu went to the court of assembly of Kulutunga in Kanchipuram. Kulutunga received both Kuresha and Mahaprabhu. He thought Kuresha is a Ramanuja. He was under the impression Kuresha is a Ramanuja. And there was a discussion among the Saivists and both Kuresha and Mahaprabhu. He wanted to establish the supremacy of Lord Shiva, Kulutunga. Therefore, he brought all the scholars and the scholars started explaining to Ramanuja, that is Kuresha and Mahaprabhu, about the supremacy of Lord Shiva. Kuresha in no point he defeated all the scholars. He gave enough examples, quotes from the Shastras to prove Lord Vishnu is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And all the scholars were completely defeated. Kulutunga was very upset and said, "I don't know whether our scholars have been defeated or not. I don't care. But you people should accept the supremacy of Lord Shiva. Please write and give." Both of them refused to write and give. He was very angry, he became very furious. Then he ordered his people and told, "Take these people out of this place and pluck their eyes out." Actually, they deserve to be killed. Ramanuja and this Mahaprabhu, they deserve to be killed. Because Ramanuja, in the past, he saved my sister. When she was haunted by ghost, he saved my sister. Therefore, I will spare their life. But their eyes should be plucked out. His kingsmen took both Kuresha and Mahaprabhu and gave different kinds of tortures to them. And their eyes were plucked out. When their eyes were plucked out, Kuresha, overjoyed, he thought, I am doing my service to my Guru, who Ramana is supposed to suffer, but I am undergoing this. He is overjoyed to serve his Guru in this way and pray to Lord Narayana to forgive the tormentors. And after that, Kuresha said to the tormentors, "May Lord Narayana bless you for allowing me to serve my Guru in this way." When the tormentors heard this from Kuresha, they were struck with wonder. They were astonished to see the exalted quality of Kuresha. Instead of cursing them, but he blessed the tormentors. They were very much moved, and immediately they called some local people and gave some money. "Please somehow take these two people and leave them in Srirangam." After saying that, they went. Mahapurna was very old, and it was unbearable for Mahapurna to undergo this suffering. And he told Kuresha, my dear Kuresha, there is no need to worry, there is no need to lament. My time has come to leave this world. I want to fix my mind upon the lotus feet of my Guru, Ramanujacharya, and leave this world. When you meet Ramanuja, my disciple, please offer millions of obeisances at his lotus feet on my behalf. After saying this, he kept his head on the lap of Kuresha. He fixed his mind. He fixed his mind upon the lotus feet of Ramanujacharya and left this body. Very soon, the Kulutunga, who gave this order to his man to pluck the eyes out, was afflicted with a deadly disease which was incurable. Very soon, he died. Anyone who gives torture, trouble to Vaishnavas, everything is inauspicious for them. Later, Kulutunga had a son, Vikrama Chola. Although his father was an ardent follower of Lord Shiva, nevertheless his son was initiated by Ramanuja in the future and became a devotee of Lord Vishnu. So while these things are going on, these disciples, Ramanuja's disciples were suffering, Kuresha was suffering. In Srirangam, Ramanuja, wearing the white dress, he escaped from Srirangam without anyone's knowledge. Somehow he entered through a forest. There all his principal disciples like Gauranga, Dasa, Dasa, and a few others joined Ramanuja. All of them started walking fast. 2 days they continuously walk without stop, without eating anything, without sleep. Somehow they want to escape from the Kulutunga men. They were walking, their feet were blistered and this body were cut by the thorns of the forest. So it was bleeding. After 2 days of walking, they were exhausted completely. Then they were lying on the floor. They were in deep sleep. At the time, the place were inhabited by Chandalas. That's a village. The place was inhabited by Chandalas. The Chandalas saw the holy people, saintly people have come here and they are taking rest. Somehow they were very eager to serve the saintly people. They collected a lot of foods. The forest brought huge basket filled with the different kinds of foods, brought and kept near them. They were eagerly waiting when they will get up so that they can get the opportunity to serve the Vaishnavas. Ramanujacharya and all got up and saw a lot of fruits and the people. Then Ramanuja prayed to Lord Narayana for giving protection in the forest from the wild animals. So Lord Narayana sent everything to us. Then all of them got up and went to the river. They took bath, came back and offered these fruits to Lord Narayana and had sumptuous feast. After having nice foods, then Ramanuja blessed the Chandalas who were serving them. Then they were guided to a Brahmana house in a village. His name was Dasa. So all the devotees went to his house, the Brahmana's house. As usual, the Brahmana would go out in the morning to beg. He was not at home, only wife was there. Wife received this guest, Vaishnava guest, and she cooked nice food, offered to Lord Narayana and gave sumptuous feed to the Vaishnavas. When Rangadasa came back to home, after he was overjoyed by seeing the Vaishnavas in his house. Immediately came and offered obeisances to Ramanuja and all the disciples, and they had a lot of Krishna Katha. 2 days Ramanuja stayed in the house. Then after that he initiated both husband and wife. Then they were asked to go to next grama called Shala Grama, called Narsama Kshetra. It's around some 40 kilometers from Udupi. There is one devotee called Andrapurna. He was also pious Brahmana. So Ramanuja and all other disciples went to Shala Grama, to the house of Andrapurna, and they stayed there. And they were taken care by a devotee, Andrapurna, nicely. Andrapurna was so exalted, very much detached. Then Ramanuja gave initiation to Andrapurna by seeing his exalted qualities. Then later Andrapurna became personal servant of Ramanuja. He was there with Ramanuja till he left the body, till left the world. Then all of them went to they were guided to go to Bhakta Grama. There was a devotee called Sri Purna. So Ramanuja went to Bhakta Grama and stayed in the house of Sri Purna. So when they were staying, that region was ruled by one Jain king called Vittaladeva. He was the follower of Jain philosophy. And he had a daughter, princess. She was haunted by ghosts. Many Jain priests came and chanted different kinds of mantra to cast off the ghost from the body of princess. In spite of their best effort, they could not solve the problem. Then the king thought, okay, he heard this, that a lot of Vaishnavas have come from South India and they are staying in the house of Sri Purna. So he sent an invite to Vaishnavas to come to his place. So Ramanuja and other people came to the place of King Vittaladeva, and Vittaladeva explained to Ramanuja about the situation of his daughter. Since Ramanuja was an exalted devotee, filled with spiritual potency, without any chanting any mantras, without anything, just by glancing at the daughter of Kulatunga, he drove away the ghost from the body of the princess. She became normal completely, and Kulatunga was struck with wonder by seeing this. He was completely astonished, and he immediately fell at the feet of Ramanuja and asked Ramanuja to explain about the path of devotional service and Vaishnava religion. Then Ramanuja explained at length about the path of devotional service and explained about the glories of Lord Vishnu, the transcendental qualities of Lord Vishnu. He was completely convinced. He decided to give up his religion, Jain religion, accept the path of Vaishnavism. Then he called all the Jain philosophers next day to discuss the philosophical thing. So all the Jain philosophers came and told, please speak about our religion to this Acharya. Then they started explaining about their Jain philosophy, but Ramanuja defeated all the Jain scholars by his argument. And some people got angry and started blaspheming about Sanatana Dharma, followers of Sanatana Dharma, and they were not ready to accept Ramanuja's explanation. But they could not refute. But somehow they want to protect their Dharma. Although they knew they are wrong, nevertheless they were arguing. They were accusing the Ramanuja and the path of Vaishnavas. Then this Vittaladeva, who was watching, witnessing everything, he was a very intelligent person. He said, in this world, the very simple thing is to accuse others. If at all you want to defeat, refute, please quote proper verse from the philosophy, not simply argue. Either defeat with a proper logic and argument or accept the defeat. So none of them could defeat Ramanuja. They all fell silent, went to a seat and was just putting their head down. Some people started arguing, but again Ramanuja refuted their argument and they could not speak further. Then Vittaladeva got up and said, today we have seen all the great scholars of Jains were completely defeated by this Vaishnavacharya. Now let us decide now, should we embrace our Jainism, which is devoid of devotional aspect of life, which is void, or should accept the path of Vaishnavism, be initiated by the great Acharya? So most of the people agreed to give up their Jain religion, accept the path of Vaishnavism, accepted Ramanuja as their spiritual master. Only few people did not accept and left the place. So Ramanuja gave initiation to this king, Vitaldeva. He became Vishnuvardhan. After he became Vishnuvardhan, he built quite good number of temples in Karnataka. In Belur, he built Channakeshwar temple, and Talakadi built Kirti Narayan temple, and in Tumur he built Nambi Narayan temple. Melkotai he built Chalvanana Swami temple. So he built a good number of temples. He became Pakka Vaishnava. Ramanuja stayed in Melkotai for some time. Almost he stayed in Melkotai for 12 years. One day Ramanuja and his disciples were walking. When they were walking near the Tulsi grove, garden, Ramanuja noticed some unusual thing. Something was projecting from the Tulsi grove. Then immediately he called his disciples and told them to dig this place. Let me see, something is there. So disciples brought instruments, started digging, and they saw there was a beautiful deity of Narayana. And they lifted that deity from the earth and saw very beautiful. They removed the mud and all, bathed the deity. At the time the news spread all over the Melkotai town, all the people came and they started saying about what their ancestors, their forefathers were saying. Actually the deity, Chelu Narayana Swami, was worshipped here. Maybe some years ago, when Muslims attacked this place, they want to destroy the temple and destroy the deities. Therefore the priest, not to protect the deity, they buried the deity and they escaped. Now, Lord, by seeing your greatness of your devotion, Lord wants to appear to receive worship. This is what they addressed to Ramanuja. Ramanuja also confirmed this to the citizens, the people of Melkotai, and said, even in fact, yesterday, last night, Lord Narayana appeared in my dream and told to rediscover me from this place. So Lord was taken back and he explained to all the people how to build a temple. So with the help of Vitaldeva, Vishnuvardhan, and all the people of the Melkotai built a nice temple, Chalvanarayana Swami temple. The speciality of Chalvanarayana Swami was the deity was worshipped by both Lord Rama and Lord Krishna. That is a speciality. Both the person, both Supreme Lord, both Lord Rama and Krishna worship the deity of Chalvanarayana Swami. So Ramanuja installed the deity in the new temple and started worshipping. So he was happy being there, worshipping the deity and explaining about the glories of devotional service to people, devotees there. One day, Lord appeared in his dream. My dear Ramanuja, I am very happy to see that you are taking care of me nicely, but I want to bestow my mercy upon others. In temple Chandri, there are two kinds of deities. One is called Mooladhar, one is called Utsavar. The Mooladhar is fixed in one place. Mooladhar cannot move. Whereas Utsavar, called Vijay Vigraha, the Vijay Vigraha, Utsavar, will be taken on the procession outside the temple, so that Lord can bestow His mercy upon those who don't come to temple. Lord wants to bestow His mercy upon everyone. He wants to go out and give His mercy, give His darshan. So He told, I want to somehow go out of the temple and liberate people. Now my Utsa Vigraha, Vijay Vigraha is not here. That is there, Vijay Vigraha is there in the Delhi. Emperor of the Delhi is having my Vigraha. Somehow please go and get this deity so that I can liberate the people. I can go on the procession. Ramanuja was pleased to hear and he got up. Next day he started proceeding to Delhi. He went and met the Emperor of the Delhi, who was ruled by, he was Muslim. So although he was a Muslim, nevertheless he heard about the glories of Ramanuja, about his exalted position. So he received Ramanuja and he and his disciples were taken to the place where a lot of deities were kept. All the deities were looted by this emperor and taken to the place, and Ramanuja started carefully noticing all the deities, but he could not find the deity called Ramapriya. He could not find the deity called Ramapriya, so it's a deity, which is a deity. So he was disappointed. He went and told the emperor, "No, I could not find a deity's my deity." Then he said, "Acha, okay. No, I've got one more deity. This deity is very beautiful deity among all the deities. But the deity is under the possession of my daughter. She is very much fond of the deity. Let us go." So Ramanuja was taken to the room of the king's daughter. At the time she was not there, daughter was not there. And when Ramanuja went to the room of the daughter of the emperor, he saw the deity of Ramapriya. Immediately offered obeisances and prayed to Lord Ramapriya, "Please come." Immediately the deity walked and came and sat on the lap. So he requested the emperor, the Muslim king, "Please allow me to take this deity. For this purpose only I have come all the way." So king was very happy to allow the Ramanuja to take the deity. Ramanuja, after taking the Ramapriya deity from Delhi, from this emperor, started walking fast, he and his disciples. He thought, because we cannot trust these people, because his daughter is attached to the deity, but once again we can come and take back also. Let us go fast. He was walking very fast. Meanwhile, daughter came to the house and she was shocked to see the deity is missing. And she stopped eating, stopped sleeping. She was very much disturbed. She became very thin, very disturbed. And by seeing his daughter, the king was not able to tolerate. And she told, "Without my Ramapriya, I cannot exist." Because she was very much attached to the Ramapriya deity. So the king immediately ordered his people to go and somehow meet the person, get back the deity. So his daughter, she is called Bibi Lachimar. Sometimes she is called Bibi Nachia. Her original name is Bibi Lachimar, Muslim name. She wanted to accompany these people. So then she was taken in palanquin by the servants. They are moving. At the time there was one person called Kuvera. He was fond of, he was attached to this Bibi Lachimar. He wanted to marry her. Somehow he also joined the group in order to get her favor. If I try to help her, she'll accept me as her husband. So he also joined the party. He also started searching. They started walking. And finally she was very disappointed. She came to a point that, "I think I cannot see my Ramapriya anymore." She was lamenting. Then somehow this Kuvera pacified her. "Don't worry, we'll get back, we'll get the deities. Have patience." She was comforted by Kuvera. One day all of them are sleeping. Who? The gods and Kuvera and the Bibi Lachimar. She got up one night without knowledge of anybody. She started walking on her own. All the gods were sleeping. Only this Kuvera saw. Then he started following the girl, Bibi Lachimar. Meanwhile, Ramanuja came to Melkote and he told all the people, all his disciples, "Still we are in danger. This person send any people and take back the deity. Let us keep the deity in a closed room. Worship the Lord without anyone's knowledge." So the deity was placed in the closed room and worship was being done without anyone's knowledge. And this, by the Lord's Paramatma is there in everyone what inspired this girl to go to Melkote. She and the Kuvera also came to Melkote and she begged people, "Where is the temple here? Narayana temple." She was guided to go to this place. And she came and requested the Brahmanas, she started crying, please allow me to see my Ramapriya once at least. She was very, very much determined to see her beloved Lord. At the time Ramanuja came. By seeing her exalted devotion, Ramanuja allowed to see Ramapriya. Although she was Muslim, she was allowed to go to inside the temple, have darshan of deity and see the Ramapriya. Since then, this girl did not go back to his father's house. She stayed in Melkote. She was absorbed in serving the deity by having darshan, chanting the glories. After some time, she left her body and went to the abode of Lord. Even today, her small deity is installed in some temples. Even the Melkote, under the feet of Chelvanarayana Swami, her deity is placed, small deities, almost 4 inch or 5 inch deity is placed. She is worshipped even now because of her exalted devotion. After she left the world, Kubera was very much affected. He was very upset, disturbed. Then left Melkote, went to Srirangam. Because he was also Muslim and he was not allowed inside the temple. He was not allowed to go inside the temple to have darshan of Lord. So at the time Lord told, since you cannot come inside, I am not able to bestow my mercy upon you. Therefore I order you, go to Nilachala. Lord Jagannatha is the deliverer of all the souls. Go and see when Lord Jagannatha rides on the chariot. So immediately he went to Jagannath Puri and had darshan of Lord when he was going to Gundicha Mandir. And he stayed in Jagannath Puri chanting the glories of Lord, offering the prayers. And he also left the body, went to the abode of Lord, Vaikuntha. This, although they were born in Muslim families, nevertheless they developed strong attachment for Lord. As a result, they attained the highest perfection in their life. While this was going on, Kuresha was in Srirangam. He came to a place called Krishnachala. There he saw the beautiful form of deity of Lord Narayana along with Lakshmi. He was worshipping there. There he came to know that Ramanuja was staying in Melkote. So immediately he came to Melkote to meet his Guru. He and his family members, wife, children, all of them came to Melkote and he fell at the feet of Ramanuja. Ramanuja embraced his disciple Kuresha and said to Kuresha, my dear Kuresha, today I became purified by touching you. By touching the great soul, today I become purified. Today is the most auspicious day for me. After hearing this, Kuresha started shedding tears of joy and he could not speak anything further and stayed with his Guru for some time. After a few days, Ramanuja said, my dear Kuresha, you must go to Srirangam now. You must go to Kanchipuram, worship Lord Varadaraja there. After going there, please pray to Lord Varadaraja to get back your eyes. After receiving the order from his Guru, Kuresha went to Kanchipuram and he was offering prayers, singing bhajans, glorifying the Lord Varadaraja. Lord Varadaraja was pleased and spoke to Kuresha, my dear Kuresha, please ask any benediction from me. I would like to award you. Then Kuresha said to Lord Varadaraja, my dear Lord, please deliver Chatrugrama from the material existence. Chatrugrama was the disciple of Kuresha. He gave up his spiritual master Kuresha, went to the kingdom of Kolutunga and became minister in the kingdom of Kolutunga. When Kolutunga was campaigning from all the Vaishnavas to write, to put signature, to accept Lord Shiva as supreme, to give up the worship of Lord Vishnu, accept the worship of Lord Vishnu, Lord Shiva, accept Lord Shiva as supreme personality of Godhead. When he was doing this, it was Chatrugrama who gave this instruction to Kulutunga. Why are you simply trying to convert one person? Just you convert Ramanuja. You bring Ramanuja and convert Ramanuja. Make him worshipper of Lord Shiva. Then all the people automatically worship Lord Shiva. There is no need for you to convert one person each and every one. He thought it's the best idea. Therefore, he sent people to Srirangam to bring Ramanuja. As a result of that, many people suffered. Ramanuja to leave Ramanuja and all the disciples have to leave Srirangam. And Kuresha and Mahapurna gave up his body. Both eyes were plucked out. So devotees underwent a lot of suffering because of this Chatrugrama. Nevertheless, Kuresha prayed to Lord Varadaraja, please deliver him. Lord accepted, yes, accepted your prayer. Now I wish to give one more benediction. Please ask. At that time Kuresha said, my dear Lord, King Kulutunga may become the object of your mercy. Kindly deliver him. Because by giving torture to Mahapurna and Kuresha is destined to go to hell and live millions of lifetime. Nevertheless, Kuresha was so great, so magnanimous, and prayed to Lord Varadaraja, kindly deliver King Kulutunga. Ramanuja agreed. So Kuresha was excited. He was so happy that King Kulutunga was delivered and Chatrugrama was delivered. Happily returned home. This news reached Ramanuja. Ramanuja was excited to hear the greatness of Kureshas for delivering the tormentors, and he wrote a letter to Kuresha. My dear Kuresha, I am very happy, I am very glad to hear that you delivered your tormentors, Kulutunga and Chatrugrama. I think you are enjoying greatest happiness by delivering your tormentors. In this regard, you have shown greatest selfishness. You are enjoying yourself by delivering your tormentors, but I am greatly unhappy. You have surrendered your life to me. Your body belongs to me. Your mind belongs to me. To keep your body properly, it's your duty because it does not belong to you. To maintain your body, to maintain properly, it's your duty because it does not belong to you, it belongs to me, it belongs to me. Therefore, you must go to Varadaraja again and ask your eyesight. That will give me the happiness. You should also make me happy. Not only you are enjoying yourself by delivering your tormentors, you must make me happy by regaining your eyesight. Kuresha was very happy to hear this from Ramanuja. Ramana sent in letter. After hearing this, then he understood, accepted. Now Ramanuja accepted me as fully surrendered soul. So he went to Varadaraja temple in Kanchipuram and started singing, glorifying the Lord. Lord asked, my dear Kuresha, please ask me any benediction. Then that time Kuresha said, my dear Lord, sometimes ago I lost most valuable things which belong to my spiritual master. Now I would like to restore them immediately. Lord Varadaraja was very happy to hear this. He said, yes, by giving that, naturally your master will become happy. He will enjoy unlimited happiness. My devotees do not ask anything from me. They are always eager to serve me. Similarly, I am always eager to serve my devotees. This is a loving exchange between devotees and the Lord. It becomes more sweeter and sweeter. When the Lord was telling this, I am also eager to serve my devotees. By hearing from the Lord, he started crying. Tears started falling from his eyes, flowing from his eyes, and fell unconscious. He regained his consciousness. Then immediately he got back his eyes. He could see everything. And immediately after obeisance to Lord Varadaraja and said, my dear Lord, you are so great. It was you who gave me this eyes in the beginning. It was you who took away. And again it was you who restored this eyes. who can understand your inconceivable pastimes? You are so great, your mercy is so great. He started offering wonderful prayers to Lord Varadaraja. Meanwhile, this news reached the city amongst people in the Kanchipuram. All the people started coming and they were struck with wonder to see Kuresha had got eyes. And they got so much faith in the deity of Varadaraja, and they developed strong faith in the teachings of Ramanuja and his followers. So from that time on, many people started coming to the temple to have darshan of Varadaraja. So he was very happy. Then Ramanuja, after this, Ramanuja was Melkote, he wanted to come back to Srirangam because Kolutunda died already. There is no need of being in Melkote. Ramanuja stayed in Melkote for 12 years, that area. Then he wanted to leave from Melkote. The devotees of the Melkote, devotees came and told, please don't go. It's very difficult for us to bear the suppression from you. Please stay here. We want your association. Please stay here. So Ramanuja said, no, how can I stay? I want to go to Srirangam, lot of work is there. Then he told one person to get his image. Stone deity was made exactly like him and told the devotees, and whenever you feel separation, please come in front of this deity and see the deity. All your unhappiness will diminish, vanish, don't worry. Meanwhile, similar form of Ramanuja was carved in his birthplace, Sriperumbudur, called Bhutapuri. And they also established the deity of Ramanuja in the temple, and according to the Vedic rituals. So Ramanuja was very happy to see the people of Bhutapuri, Sriperumbudur, and said, the people of Bhutapuri made me captive by their love and devotion. So after that, Ramanuja started leaving Melkote. He and with other disciples started coming towards south. They came to Madurai, near Madurai. There is a temple called Kallayadar temple. It's around 20-25 kilometers from Madurai city. There he had the darshan of Kallayadar called Sundaraja Perumal. That is the place where Andal, one of the great devotees, 12 Alvars, Andal is one of the Alvar, she prayed to Kallayadar, Sundaraja Perumal, my dear Lord, if I get you as my husband, then I will offer 100 pots of sweet rice and 100 pots of butter. After this, she was married to deity of Ranganatha. After her prayer, then she entered into the body of Ranganatha, but she could not fulfill her promise because she left and merged into the body of Lord. Then Ramanuja knew that Andal could not fulfill her words. He wanted to fulfill the vow that Andal has taken. So he offered 100 pots of sweet rice and 100 pots of butter to Sundaraja Swami, Kallayadar. After this, he went to Srivilliputturu. Srivilliputturu is a place where Andal was born. There is a deity called Vadapatra Shahi Vishnu. So he went to the altar of Andal and said to Andal, I have fulfilled your vow. Ramanuja told to Andal. Then she called him Anna because he has taken the responsibility of Andal to do this work. Hence he was called as a elder brother of Andal. Then after that, Ramanuja and all the disciples reached Srirangam. They were there. Ramanuja started giving discourse. Many people started gathering and would hear. They lost the people of Srirangam could not see Ramanuja for 12 years. When they came to know Ramanuja has come back to Srirangam, they were excited, overjoyed. They would come and hear from Ramanuja with rapt attention about the glories of Lord Vishnu, about the glories of devotional service. People of Srirangam were very happy to be with Ramanuja. So at the time Ramanuja was almost 100-year-old. He was 100-year-old. Even Kuresha was very old. He was on the bed he could not even get up from the bed. So Ramanuja would come every day along with the disciples, would come and chant in front of Kuresha and would read from the scriptures, speak about the glories of Lord Narayana to Kuresha. It was going on. One day there was heavy kirtan was going on. Then the Kuresha called Ramanuja and took the lotus feet of Ramanuja, placed on his chest, just like Haridas Thakur when he wanted to leave the body, leave this world. So he also took the lotus feet of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, kept on his chest, just like looked at the face of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, moon-like face, and by chanting the name of Chaitanya, 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 he left the body. Similarly, Kuresh also took the feet of Ramanuja, kept on his chest by looking at his spiritual master Ramanuja, and he gave up his body. All the people started crying, lamenting, because he was an exalted devotee. Kuresha was so exalted devotee. Even Ramanuja could not control his intense feeling. Even he started shedding tears. Somehow could control. After he told all the disciples, don't worry, now Kuresha has returned to the abode of the Lord and directly is engaged in the service of the Lord. There is no need to worry. Then the body of Kuresha was taken to the bank of Kaveri and burnt the body. And after that, the same day, there was heavy Sankirtan was conducted in the Srirangam and a feast was given to all the people. 1 month continuously they celebrated this of Kuresha's going back to the abode of the Lord. So many people came and participated in the program and everyone was sumptuously fed. At the time Ramanuja said to all the disciples, Parashara, who is the son of Kuresha, is the most exalted person, is unparalleled in his devotion to Lord Vishnu. Knowledge also is unparalleled. Is a great devotee. Then Ramanuja said to the disciples, is no less than his father in every aspect of devotional service. Then he was asked to sit on the Vyasasana. Then Ramanuja put the garland to Parashara and told, henceforth you became the Acharya of Vaishnavas. So he told all the disciples to accept Parashara as the Acharya of our Sampradaya. He blessed, please teach about the glories of devotional service. He instructed Parashara about the glories of devotional service and asked him to spread the glories of devotional service. This was going on. Ramanuja, almost he was 100 years old at the time, and he had a disciple called Andrapurna, was a personal servant. From the time onwards, Ramanuja never went anywhere. He stayed in Srirangam. He stayed for he lived for 125 years. The last 25 years he stayed only in Srirangam. He did not move anywhere. So Andrapurna was serving his guru. Whatever Ramanuja wanted, he was serving personal things, all the personal things. One day there was one procession in Srirangam. Lord Rangana was taken outside. Lord was gorgeously dressed and taken the procession. People are singing, dancing, and there was a great festival. All the disciples, all the devotees participated in the program, including Ramanuja came and saw the deity. He was overwhelmed by seeing the beautiful deity of Lord Gauranga, except one person, that was Andrapurna. He did not come to see a deity, did not come for participating in the program. So Ramanuja asked, my dear Andrapurna, all the people came for the program. They were enjoying the festival. Why did you miss the festival? Said, my dear master, if I had come for participating in the program, then I would miss my service to you. My most important duty is to serve you. Because he was cooking for Ramanuja, boiling milk for Ramanuja. He was so exalted. He was ready to sacrifice all his personal enjoyment in participating in festival. Rather, he wanted to serve his guru. There was one more Brahmana. He came to Ramanuja and said, Ramanuja, I wish to serve you. You are great, you are exalted soul. Simply by serving you, I become free from the material modes of three modes of material nature. So Ramanuja asked, you want to serve me? Yes, I want to serve. If you want to serve me, then you should follow whatever I say. Yes, my dear master, whatever you say, I'll follow. Happily, I'll follow whatever you say. Then Ramanuja said, actually, I have decided to purify myself by taking the water that is washed to the lotus feet of a Brahmana. Now I order you, every day you should wash your feet and give this water so that I will purify myself. This is my order. The Brahmana was very humble, very simple devotee. Although it was difficult for him to do this service, nevertheless he accepted. Nevertheless he accepted the service. And every day the Brahmana would wash his feet, and when Ramanuja would go in the afternoon, take bath in the river Kaveri, come back to ashrama, then the Brahmana would give the water that washed his feet. Ramanuja would take and sprinkle on his head and would come and do other work. One day he went to take bath in the river Kaveri in the afternoon. At that time he was invited by one householder devotee for a lunch. Ramanuja went to the house of householder and he had lunch along with the other disciples. And they started asking many questions. Then Ramanuja started explaining. And they were very happy. Time was passing. They forgot about the time. It became late night. Very late night. Then they thought, okay, it's too late. The Ramanuja left the place, came to his ashrama, and everyone was sleeping. And only this Brahmana was awake. And Ramanuja was asking, why did you not sleep? Have you eaten prasadam? He said, my dear master, how can I sleep? How can I eat until I have finished my service to you? I am eagerly waiting for your arrival to give the water. So Ramanuja was pleased to hear the Brahmana gave up eating, gave up sleeping, and he was eagerly waiting to serve Ramanuja. And Ramanuja said, today you have to do perfection, because you are completely absorbed in serving a devotee. You attain perfection. Ramanuja embraced the Brahmana. Then after that he took the water and he drank the water and gave that water to other disciples to purify themselves. So you see that quality of Ramanuja. Although he was exalted devotee, nevertheless he accepted the water that washed the feet of one Brahmana. That was the greatness of Ramanuja, being humble. Then Ramanuja wanted to leave this world. He was contemplating. He was around 125 years old at that time. He has established around 74 temples and he gave initiation to many people. He had 700 sannyasis, 12,000 brahmacharis and many householder disciples, and he preached vigorously in every part of the country. Then he thought, I have come to this world to preach the glories of Lord Vishnu. I have done my duty. Now let me go back to the abode of the Lord. He decided to go back to the abode of Lord. He sat, he fixed his mind. Understanding this, the disciples of Ramanuja, namely Govinda, Mandapurna, other people came and told, my dear Lord, my dear Master, please do not go. Please do not leave this world. Be with us. It's impossible for us to bear suppression from you. Then Ramanuja chastised, why are you crying like children? You are not children. You are not children. You are educated people. This material body, we have to give up one day. Then he started giving his final instruction to all the disciples. One should serve. One should worship Vaishnavas as worshipping is your Guru. One should worship Vaishnavas as you worship Guru. The best way to worship Lord Narayana is to serve his devotees. Always be in the association of devotees. Never give up the association of devotees. Never read any other literature which talks about material thing. Don't be proud of your material knowledge. Read the literature which describes the glories of the Lord. Always absorb in chanting the glories of the Lord. Always absorb in hearing the glories of the Lord. Never associate with the karmis. Never associate with the mayavadis. Always associate with the devotees who are surrendered to Lord Narayana. He was explaining after this, giving this instruction, devotees told, how do we conduct ourselves in this material world? Then Ramanuja said, those who are surrendered to Lord should not be concerned about the future. Should not be concerned about the future. One who is surrendered to Lord should always depend upon Lord. One should always depend upon the mercy of the Lord. And Lord always takes care of the devotees who are completely surrendered unto Him. You must have faith in Lord's protection. Lord will always protect the devotees who are completely surrendered unto Him. So after giving these instructions, he told, if you follow these instructions, then you will be with me always. Don't worry about this material body. Anyway, it will be vanished one day. Then the disciple said, no, you don't say that it's your material body. Your body is material. It's a spiritual body. Because you are situated on the spiritual platform. Your body is not a material. Our body is a material. Your body is not a material. So we wish to see your form always. Your transcendental form always. We should never be deprived of this form. Then after hearing this from his disciples, Ramanuja asked them to get a sculptor. The best of sculptor was brought, and he instructed the sculptor to make a stone deity similar to his form. The sculptor took 3 days to make a deity of Ramanuja and brought the deity, and the deity was bathed. It took 3 days. Then after carving the deity was taken to the river Kaveri. Bathed deity was then brought into the new altar. New altar was created, and the deity of Ramanuja was brought inside the altar, and Ramanuja slowly walked inside the altar and went near to the deity and filled his spiritual potency into the deity and told the disciples, this deity is none other than me. This is my second one. This deity is none other than me. When I cast off this body, you must worship this deity. The deity is still in Srirangam. The deity of Ramanuja, which he filled his spiritual potency, is still in Srirangam. After speaking this, then Ramanuja put his head on the lap of Govinda and put his leg on the lap of Andrapurna, and there was a shoe of his Guru. He meditated upon the wooden shoe of his Guru and left this body, went back to the abode of the Lord. Then after this, after few days, Govinda is one of the closest disciples, who was his cousin, lifelong companion. He also left the body and went back to the abode of Lord. Then Parashara became the Acharya. He was the Acharya of Sri Vaishnavas. One day there was a great Mayavadi scholar named Dasa. He was defeated by Parashara. Then he became a devotee. The Dasa became a devotee. After Parashara left the world, the Dasa became the Acharya of Sri Vaishnavas. This is the end of the life history of Sri Ramanujacharya. Sri Ramanujacharya ki Jai. Thank you. Hare Krishna.